In this video, we are going to use SolidWorks to draw us up a truck flatbed. So go ahead and open up SolidWorks. I am using SolidWorks 2024. When you open this up, it should look something like this. We are going to open up the part menu. Once we have the part menu opened up, we are going to go to Sketch Tools. In order to draw a line, we got to pick a plane. I prefer to work from the top plane. That is as if I'm standing on top of the truck looking down at it. So we have our line selection tool. We are going to draw a midpoint line. Make sure that it's horizontal. We're going to hit escape to exit the line tool. We're going to go over here to Smart Dimension. Click the line, pull it off over here. We know that we want our truck bed to be 104 inches long. So we're going to type in 104 there. That defines this line. We are going to exit the Smart Dimension tool. Right click our line, click Construction Geometry. We can go back up to our line, pick another midpoint line, grab the center of our drawing, pull it off, make sure it's horizontal. We know that we want our bed to be 102 inches wide. That's 8.5 feet wide. Hit escape to exit that tool. Grab the Smart Dimension tool, pull this up above the top of your bed. We know that we want this to be 102 inches wide. That's 8.5 feet wide. We are going to exit our Smart Dimension tool, right click this, make Construction Geometry. Now this is just a reference for our drawing with the dimensions so that we don't go outside of this, right? So now we're going to start drawing our bed. We're going to go back in to midpoint line, go to the top of our bed here, pull this out, end our line, hit escape to exit this tool, go to Smart Dimension, and we are going, go to Smart Dimension, pull this up. We know that we want this to be, our top piece, to be 84 inches wide. That'd be 7 feet wide. We're going to draw a dually bed here. Now that we have that defined, we are going to grab our line tool. Just grab, we're going to draw a regular line. We're going to pull it down here. Or we're going to start our line. Oh, got to grab the line tool. We're going to pull it down here, and as you find this corner, it's going to lie up like this. So we're going to start our line on this corner. We're going to pull this up to somewhere about there. We're going to hit escape to exit our pencil tool. We are going to go to our Smart Dimension tool. We're going to pull this off, and we're going to make our the sides of our bed 12 inches shorter than the center of the bed. So that's going to be 94 inches. So we're going to type in 94 inches. We're going to go back to our line tool. We're going to find this corner, and we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to make this equal to the one right across from it, 94 inches. We're going to hit escape to exit our pencil drawing tool. We're going to grab another line. We're going to go from here to this point, pull over, and we're going to go from here again to this point. We're going to end that line. Now, the reason the lines are black and the lines are blue is because these lines are defined and these lines are not. They don't have, that means there's not a measurement attached to them. So we're going to grab our Smart Dimension tool, click here, just pull this off. $13.45 is what that dimension is. Now we're going to, now that we have this line defined, we're going to highlight this line, hold shift, go over here, grab this line, which is going to open up this menu, and we are going to put equals. Now this line turned from blue to black because SolidWorks knows that we want this line, which is defined, to be identical to this line. Now your entire sketch should be black. Now this is important. You have to exit the sketch. Go to Weldments, and we are going to define what material we're going to use. So we're going to make a structural member. And when we click this, it's going to pull up our materials list. Now we're going to use some 2x6. So over in this menu, we're going to pick rectangular tubing here. And we have 2x6 selected here. So now we need to, I'm just holding my mouse button, space bar to align our drawing back up straight, and we are going to define which pieces of this are going to be made of 2x6. Now once we have all those pieces highlighted, we're just going to hit the enter key, and now SolidWorks knows that we're going to build the outer pieces out of 2x6. I'm going to hit space bar, choose your view. Now the problem with this, we're going to hold the center mouse scroll button, push it down like it's a button so you can move your drawing around. We're going to go in here, we're going to zoom into this part. Now it's kind of difficult to see, but you see this is our drawing here. That's our sketch that we originally drew. Now we don't want the measurements to be right down the center of the tube, which is where they are now. We want them to be on the outside of the tube, so that when we measure something, our cut list is going to show us the longest portion of the cut. So how we change this is we're going to select this surface here. This menu is going to come up, edit feature. It's going to pull up in this window. We're going to scroll down here to locate profile. It's going to highlight our line, and it's going to ask us where we want the drawing to originate from. So all these little orange dots you can highlight. We are going to put it right here on the corner of our tube, and we are going to hit enter. Now that moved our drawing to the outside of the tube in lengths. You see that? So now that we have that defined, we are going to hit spacebar, get our orientation back. Now we're going to go back to the sketch tool and activate the sketch tool, and we're going to draw another line. We can go back into our sketch mode. We're going to draw a line from here down to the 104-inch mark. Hit escape to end this drawing. We're going to draw another line that's here. We're going to drag it down to the 104-inch mark. Hit escape to end our drawing. Zoom out a little bit. So now that we have those drawn, we're going to go into Smart Dimension. We're going to highlight this one, hold Shift, click this one, and that is going to give us our dimension for our frame rails. Now that we know that our frame rails are 38 inches apart, so we're going to go 38 inches. Now that's 38 inches from the inside of our tube to the inside of our tube. Now we need to define this from the center of our drawing, so we're going to click this with Smart Dimension selected. We're going to draw off of this line, and we know that half of 38 is 19, so we're going to make this 19 inches from the center. Now that sketch is defined. So we define this, we want this 38 inches apart from each other, and we want them to be 19 inches from our center construction line. So that's dead set in the middle. Now that we have all that defined, so we are going to exit the sketch tool. We're going to go to Weldments, and we're going to select this structural member, and we are going to make this a 3x2 rail. I already have mine selected, so we're just going to make that a 3x2 rail. Hit enter, let that show up. Now if we look at this, it has once again put the drawing down the center of our tube. Now we need 38 inches between these two, so we're going to have to locate our profile. So we're going to select this, go to Edit Feature, and we are going to define this to be on the top right. Oh, got to go over here to Locate Profile, and we're going to put it on the top right. Yeah, we're going to put it on the top right. Hit Enter to define that. Now we need to make this line a 3x2 as well. So we are going to go back into Structural Member. We are going to click our other one. It's going to be a 2x3. We're going to hit Enter. Now, same thing happened to this one. Is it located the sketch down the center of our tube. Now we need our profile to have 38 inches in between these two outer edges. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here. We're going to click the end of our tube. We are going to go into Edit Feature. We're going to pull it down to locate our profile. We need it to be located on the top corner here. Hit Enter to define that. Now if you look, our sketch lines are on the inside of those tubes, and it's put our tube on the outside, which is exactly where we want them. Now, if we look at this, our tubes are all in the right place. We want it on the top of this 2x6, not in the center, because our top deck is going to rest on these two tubes and the cross members that we're going to put in here. Now, depending on whether you're putting a steel deck on it, a wood deck, or whatever material you're going to use to deck it out with, you're going to recess these tubes down your 2x6 according to how thick that material is. So if you're using 14 gauge, 10 gauge, 2x6 lumber, whatever you're doing, you're gonna recess this, but we'll go through that during the build process. This is just for the drawing and the measurements. Doesn't matter what deck you put on it, these measurements are going to be the same. So we're going to hit spacebar, click orientation to be right on top. We are going to go back into the sketch menu, click over here we're going to go into the line menu, double click it so that we get back into our drawing. Okay, we're going to put our cross members in here now. Now we have to make sure that we make space for the tires so that when the suspension flexes, the tires don't come up and hit the bed. So we are going to draw a line. This is the front of our bed, so we're going to draw a line here, hit escape. We're going to draw another line here, hit escape, draw another line, and another line. Now we need to define where these measurements go. So now that we have our lines drawn, we are going to define where these cross members are going to go. We're going to measure from the front of our bed using Smart Dimension tool. We are going to measure from the front of our bed to our rear cross member. We're going to pull this out, and we know that this is 68 inches from the front of the truck bed. Now, just to make this a little cleaner, I think I'm going to pull this out to the side a little bit, just to keep our drawing a little better looking. Now, we're going to grab the Smart Dimension tool again. We're going to measure the front cross member. We're going to pull this out, and we know that this one is 38 inches, so we are going to put that at 38 inches. Now, all your lines at this point should be black. Everything has a measurement. If you got something that's blue, you don't have a measurement assigned to it, a dimension, so you'll need to do that. Now, We're going to exit the sketch. We're going to go back to Weldments. We're going to select this structural member. Now, these are going to be 2x3s. My 2x3 is already selected. Now, I'm going to hit enter on each one of these individually. Now, there's a reason for that, and I'll show you why in a minute. Just select it again. Should be a 2x3. Select it again. A 2x3. Select it again. A 2x3. So we got to adjust our profile like we did on the other one. So we're going to select the face of this, edit feature, pull this down, locate profile to the front corner. Hit enter. We're going to do the same with this one. Edit feature, pull it down, locate profile. We're going to locate it right here. Hit enter. We're going to switch to the other view of our bed. We're going to select the face of this, edit feature, pull it down, locate the profile, and we are going to locate the profile on the front corner of our tube like this. Hit enter and do the same thing again here. Edit feature, pull it down, pull it down here, locate profile, hit enter. So now that we got those tubes in place, we're going to hit the space bar, choose our view. Now we need to put the center cross members in here. So we're going to go back to our sketch menu, enter the sketch, we're going to draw a line, double click a line. That brings us back into our sketch mode. So we need to put 2 cross members in here to hold our bed nice and firm. So we're going to grab the line tool. We're going to make the front one just line up straight across from these. And we're going to put this other one here to hold everything square, as well as if we want to put a gooseneck ball door in there. So we are going to grab our Smart Dimension tool. This one's already defined because we connected it to those lines. This one is not defined. We're going to grab our Smart Selection tool, select this line, and we are going to measure it off of the front of our bed. We're going to pull this over. We know that we want this to be 60 inches back from the front. Just to keep our drawing clean, let's grab this and just pull it out a little bit. Now everything should be black here because everything is defined. We're going to exit our sketch tool. We're going to go back into our weldment tool, select this, go to structural member. We should still have the 3x2 selected, so we're just going to select both of these, hit enter. It's going to place the dimensions on it. We're going to go back over here and we're going to define our sketch again. So we have the front of our bed, and we know that this one is 60 inches back, measured from this corner of the tube. So we're going to go in here, select this face, edit feature, go over here to this menu, locate profile. We're just going to locate the profile to the front corner of the tube. That puts our measurements to the front of our drawing. Now that's pretty much it for the outer frame of this thing. So now let's move on to the headache rack. Orientate our drawing, make sure that this is the top of our bed. Now we need to draw off of this plane because we're drawing up now. So in order to do that, we need to go to Features, Reference Geometry. We're going to draw a new plane inside this drawing, and we're going to go off of this face. Now this is going to bring up this menu here. We're going to make it we're going to make our drawing face parallel. So it's going to be parallel to this face. Go to our Features menu, Reference Geometry, put a plane on it. We're going to be drawing off of this plane. Now this thinks that we want to offset it by 0.1 inches off of the face of the front of it, which you can't really see it, but we don't want to do that. Right on the face. So we're going to hit enter. We're going to click OK. Perfect. Now we are going to start drawing off of the face of this. So when this plane is selected, everything that we draw is going to come right off of this plane. Now let's put some construction geometry in here to just kind of give us a reference. So we're going to grab our line tool here. We're going to draw from the top of our bed. Make sure that's a vertical line. Hit escape. We're going to go over here to Smart Dimension. We're going to grab this. We're going to pull this off to the side. And we know that we want this. And we know that we want this 39 inches high. That'll be about the top of the truck cab. Now we're going to exit Smart Dimension, grab this line, and we're going to make this construction geometry. Just for a reference. That's how tall we want it. We don't want to go any taller than that. We're going to make this line from a midpoint line. We're going to pull this over. Hit escape. We're going to Smart Dimension this. We're going to pull it up. Now the front of our bed is 84 inches wide before it starts to taper. So we're going to make our headache rack of 84 inches wide. Now this is not centered, so we need to center it. So we're going to exit Smart Dimension. We're going to grab our center line, hold Shift, grab this button, and we are going to make vertical. Now that's constrained right in the center of our truck bed. So now we know not to go wider than this, and we know not to go taller than this. So we're going to go back to the sketch. So the bottom of it is 84 inches wide. So we're going to grab a midpoint line, grab here. We're not going to make it taller than this. And we're going to make the top of our headache rack 52 inches wide at the center. So now that we have that, we're going to grab our line tool here. We are going to just grab this. We're going to draw it off of that line. We're going to come up. And if you hold it along this line here, that's good angle. We're going to just drop that in there. Then we're going to drop this in there. We're going to hit escape to exit the line tool. We're going to go over here to Smart Dimension. We're going to make this, make sure it's on an angle. Whoop. We are going to make this 30, oops. We're going to make this 36 inches long. Now we're going to come over to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. Just draw it like this, connect the lines, hit escape. Now we're going to grab this line, hold Shift, grab this, and we're going to make that equal. Now, all sides of this drawing are the same. The only thing left that we have left to do is we need to define how long this is. You know, in order to make this a simpler build, we're gonna zoom in here. We're gonna grab the corner of our drawing. Complete our sketch. Okay, well now that we have our headache rack built, we are going to exit the sketch tool. We're going to go over to Weldments. Now we're going to define what we are going to make this out of. Structural member. We're going to make this out of some 3x2. Oops, you know what we didn't do? Bottom of our window in here. So I'm just going to draw a line from one side to the other. Pull it off to the side. And we know that this is 16 inches up. To zoom back out, we're going to grab our Smart Dimension tool, the dimensions of that. We're going to grab the bottom of our headache rack, which should be 84 inches, and define that. Now all of our lines should be black. Everything's got a measurement on it. We're going to exit sketch, go back into weldment tools. We are going to turn this into a structural member. This should be a 2x3. The bottom one. Now we need to do two things. We need to rotate this 90 degrees, and we need to relocate it back on top of the bed because this drawing has it, centered. So the way we do that is we select this space, edit feature, we're going to rotate this 90 degrees. And we're going to come down here and locate the profile to this bottom corner. Hit enter. Now that piece is going to sit right on top of the rest of our bed. Now we need to locate the rest of our rack because it's drawn down the center. So we got to rotate our drawing, grab this, edit feature, come down here, locate profile. to this outer edge. Hit enter. Now that should have pulled it all back in. I'm just going to hit spacebar, get a nice straight look on this. Going to rotate it. Everything is lined up good except for this cross piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, edit feature, go over here, locate profile, and we're going to put it right there because we want that to be 16 inches up from the bottom. Now I'll show you how to trim all this stuff. See, things are poking out everywhere, and on the side of the bed, these are going clear through the tube instead of lining up at the edge of the tube. So we have to fix all that. We need to trim that. So all of these tubes are poking out. So I'm going to show you how to trim these to fit. So from our weldment menu, we're going to come up here to trim extend. We're going to select the bodies to be trimmed, this one and this one. Now you have both of those in here. We're going to select trim against this body. Hit enter. Now it trimmed it to be cut right there. And to be cut right there. We're going to do the same with this side. Trim extend. We're going to trim this one. We're going to trim this one against this one. Same thing. Now it's going to make us a cut list to cut those right there. Same thing here with this side, or with these cross beam pieces, because the drawing has it going clear through the piece, and we don't want that. So we're going to zoom out just a little bit. We're going to go to trim to fit, select the blue section. We're going to select these two to get trimmed against that piece. Trim extend, select these two again, and we want those two trimmed against that piece. Trim extend, select these two, trim it against this piece. So that way this piece is one continuous piece and these are shorter pieces. Trim extend, these two against that one. Trim extend, these two against this piece. And one more time, these two to be trimmed against this piece. And one more, we got to do the two front ones. We're going to trim these two against this face. Now everything should come out perfect on the cut list. Hit spacebar, hit our orientation, and there is the gist of our truck bed other than the tail end. Now I like my tail ends to be longer in the center and kind of trimmed down to here, but if you like yours flat, you can draw yours that way. Other than that, that's the basics of the frame. Now we just got to do the tail end and the gussets. If you guys want to put a tow hitch bumper on this, we can do that. I like to make my tail ends a little tapered here, so let's move on to that. So we're going to go back to our orientation this way. We are going to go back into sketch, activate our sketch tools, grab the line tool, double click to get back to our drawing. We're going to take this 94-inch line, and we're going to trim it by like 3 inches. So we're going to make it 91 inches. Actually, we're going to select this line, and we're going to select this line, and we're going to make these equals. And we're going to go into this dimension. We're going to shorten the two sides by like 3 inches. So we'll just do 91 inches. Your drawing should have shortened both of these end pieces and left the center pieces alone. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go to our draw tool. We're going to grab our line tool. Go from here to here. From here to here. And from here to here. Then we're going to hit escape to get out of our line tool. Actually, I don't know why I didn't draw a line there. Let's draw a line there. So now that we have the back end of this drawn, we are going to exit our sketch tool. We're going to go back into our Weldments. We're going to put a structural member here. And we're still on our 2x3, so we're going to do that. Do that. Do that. And hit enter. Now, I don't want them oriented like this, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to select this face. Select the face of this. We're going to edit feature. Locate profile on this outer edge. Hit enter. Now it put us some 2x3s along the back end of this. Now what we need to do is we need to trim to fit these, because as you can see on the end here, it put it clear through this tube. So we are going to go into our trim extend menu. We're going to trim this piece against this piece. Trim extend this piece against this. Trim this piece against this piece. We're going to trim this piece against that piece. This piece against this piece. And no. I did it twice. And we're going to trim this piece against this piece. And this piece against this piece. Change our orientation to looking straight at the back. Now, a few things we forgot to do was, if you zoom into this corner, you see how this is cut straight, this is angled. We're going to trim extend. This one's going to be the blue body. This one's going to be the purple body. And you see that extended this corner to the edge and cut an angle on that. We got to do that to this side. Same thing here. So we don't have that gap here. It's going to be the blue one. It's going to be the purple one. Enter. Headache rack. Trim extend. See how it trims that corner off? Over here, same thing. Now the angle is going to have it sitting right on top of our bed. This video is getting a little bit long, so I think I'm going to end this one here, and we will do the tail section of this in a separate video. See you guys over there. And thanks for watching. Hey, if you're interested in metalwork and you own a metal shop or you're just a hobby guy, that's what this channel is about. Helping you find products, giving you products, help you find good products to sell, how to price them, and how to market and advertise them, which is the trick, right? Doesn't matter how cool something you make. If you can't sell it, ain't really worth making. So we're going to focus on sales and marketing a bit as well.